Adrian, did you draw on any personal experiences to play the part of Bridges?
Well, when I was asked to do it, because I know Helen well from acting and writing and friendship and everything else, I was interested in doing it, but because I know she's a very good writer. But I also, the subject of the films, she explained to me, was about bullying. So yes, I did undergo some bullying when I was at prep school, when I was about 11. And it lasted for about 2 terms, and it was not unendurable, otherwise I wouldn't be here. I'd have done a spider, but it was very, very difficult. And a friend of mine who was also bullied ran away and was recaptured 2 days later and was dragged back to the school. And it was very, very hard to know how to deal with it.
So you felt during your school experiences you came across a Bridges character?
Yes, I did. I came across a guy, well, I better not say his name, you might end up saying it. I was very happy at my school, and then this guy arrived from South Africa who was a part of his father was in the Royal Navy, and we became great friends, and he was a very strong character, and he very much befriended me, and I kind of dropped a couple of my old friends, and I ended up going off with him, and then of course about a term later he decided to round on me, which is of course what these people do. And it taught me some very, very good lessons, actually, which is A, never try and court anybody's favour at all, unless you want to, unless they're likeable people. But don't do it out of fear. And don't drop your old friends. And don't ever bully yourself, I have to say. Made me very aware of that at a very young age.
Did you feel you could identify with Bridges at all?
Well, I mean, all of us have sides of us that are not particularly nice, and we all have them. We're all a great big mixed bag of things, aren't we? We can be vile.
What about those that didn't make it?
There's going to be casualties, Brethton. Fact of life. Certain boys had it written all over their faces, didn't they? Asking for it. Little sods. So they got it. I don't think many people would say that know me that I'm a Bridges type character, but he is. I suppose he enjoys inflicting cruelty to some extent. He enjoys power. Maybe that's the main thing.
Well, say it.
Spilling water.
Spit it out, Spider.
Spilling water. Wasted on me. Stupid twat, Spider. For all to see.
Go on, Spider.
Do you think power is one of the things that motivates Bridges
Yeah.
to bully others?
Yes, I mean, and you know, let's not get away from the fact that children are cruel, you know, and Lord of the Flies made that point pretty well, didn't it, back in the 50s? People are more than capable of immense cruelty, and that's what's the interesting balance in humans, isn't it? That we have this capacity, and we see it time and time again on our newsreels and in books and history and so on, and yet it's counterbalanced hopefully by wisdom and generosity and kindness and empathy. Arguably, Bridges might have gone on to be absolutely fine. The guy that bullied me at school may well be running UNICEF by now, or ambassador for Oxfam. I don't know. Maybe it was just a phase in his life.
Do you think Bridges feels any guilt for what he did to Spider?
I don't think he could. Well, if he did, I don't think he would be hard for him to live well with himself. So I think he's probably the sort of man that cuts any areas of himself that don't make him feel happy. I think he probably cuts out. So I think that probably that episode has been long forgotten and justified. Actually, people redraw maps in their heads, don't they? So they say, well, actually, all we were doing was ragging him. Silly little thing. It was obviously a bit oversensitive. But if you're oversensitive in this world, you're not going to get anywhere. You know. you can redraw that map very, very easily. He didn't actually push him off the parapet, you know, he would say. I was ragged when I was 13 years old. I withstood it. You know, that's how he would look at it, I think. Spider, as I'm sure many of us will remember, was a delightful little chap. I won't say desperate to do the right thing. God knows what he's doing up on the roof that night. My guess is that he was trying to prove himself to be a true Dunbarton boy by bravely walking the parapet. But I'm confused. What exactly are you trying to prove?
At the end of the film, Daniel has confronted Bridges and Bentinck has stood up to him. Do you think Bridges might change his ways now?
No, I don't. Because I don't think people do. Unless someone very, very close, like a child. If you had a child who turned around and said, I think you're a monster, that might change things.
Do you think there are any redeeming features to Bridges deep down?
I think someone like Bridges is, yes, I'm sure, of course. People are not just monsters, I don't think. They usually love something or somebody. Orson Welles loved Rosebud, didn't he, in Citizen Kane? But he's probably very self-centered. He's probably edging onto the sociopathic end of the spectrum.
It's quite something to commit to a low-budget feature film when all of the actors are on declared fees. You mentioned that you're good friends with Helen, but what motivated you to take on the role of Bridges?
Well, like I said earlier, it is a very, very good script. I like the parallel stories. I thought that was a very, very interesting way of telling it. I was at a boarding school. I understand that sort of closed mentality of those institutions, I think. And the part was, as Helen said on the phone, I think you'll like the part. It's very interesting, and it was. So I said yes.